Hello there, YouTube friends. Wanted to give you another update on the Model T delivery car build. I am making my jig for doing some steam bending, and basically what this consists of is 2x10. I got a 10-foot length, cut it in half, and I'll show you the process of the reason why I did that. Here's my pattern for the roof rail section, and I'm going to be doing the steam bending for the slats that go across the roof section there. And when you do steam bending, whatever curvature that you're bending, you want to bend it over usually what is there, because there's spring back after it gets unclamped. So when I go to cut these sections out, I will actually, instead of following this line here, I will actually make it a little bit sharper of a curve, so that way after we steam it and clamp it down, hopefully it'll spring back to the correct location. It's going to take a little trial and error, but I think we'll be able to get it. So the process of how I'm going to do this is I got these two sections cut in half. I will draw my lines out here, and I will actually cut the wood, cut it, to a section here. So this will be all cut off. This top piece here will actually get mounted to my work table space here. And then the bottom section here, I will be putting a bolt through that, so that way it can open and close. And then the other section here, of course, we'll cut it out. This piece here will be mounted. It'll be to the work table, and then this side over here we'll get a bolt, so the top section will open like that. And then I will put some holes here for some bars. That way when we shut it, it'll hold that piece in there till it dries up. So that's my plan for doing this. We'll see how it works. I know I'm going to have to maybe add a piece here to the top, because it's such a real close section there, but that shouldn't be a problem. And I know I'll have to notch this off here, so that way that can open up, and the same with down here. So then when we get our pieces, after they're steamed, we'll just simply slip them in the section there, close this, put a bar or a clamp there, and then the same process, bar or clamp, and let that dry, and hopefully that'll give us our pieces so that it can be repeatable over and over. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you up to date on what we'll be doing, and we'll catch up with you again. All right, another project I'm working on currently right now is getting my running board brackets straightened out. And the reason why I need to do this is so I can start lining up all my sheet metal for the delivery car, just primarily because this the rear section here, where you'll have the rear fender irons, that has to be all laid out. And in order to do that, so I can know where to mount those, I'm going to have my sheet metal laid out. So have my running board brackets here. Had to get some of these straightened because over the years they've been in wrecks and all kinds of things. So a really cool process of doing that is had this jig made up. Tom Rootlieb came up with the idea, and I asked him for the dimensions for it, and drew it up, and then made one of these up. But basically you can see the those little bolts there. They hook into these sections here, and you line it up and you start applying heat and start straightening those things out exactly where they need to be. It's been a great process. I've already done 3 of them. Just finished this one here. This last one here, you can see what I have to do if I move this one here. And that way you can see how much bent this one is compared to the other one. You can see this section here is kind of a sharp bend, so this one's gonna have to come down a little bit, and that way we can get that all lined up. So I'll apply some heat to this and start bending it down, and then I can get my jig on there and then start drawing it up where it needs to be. So I'll show you that process here as soon as I finish these up. All right, so I got my crude steam box set up here, and I'm gonna do a test piece here to see if I can get one of my slats bent. Of course, if you remember, this is the jig that I made up, and again, just using maple. This is 5/16 thick, so all I did was I got 1-inch thick boards, and then I'm ripping them off the edge so I can get that quarter sawn, because you need that straight grain when you're going to do steam bending, so it'll bend in your jig. So I may have to remake my jig. I'm not sure. I'll find out after I test this piece. I may have to make this curve more dramatic because there's probably about a good 20 to 30% spring back after you do steam bending. So you want to get it with no stress on the piece whatsoever, because when we go to nail those on the delivery car, you want them just to lay really nice on top there. I am going to be doing something a little bit different on my slats. I saw an original delivery car and the slats were beaded, so I'm gonna possibly do that step, and I'll show you one later on, but I'll just run it through the router, put 2 beads on either side, and once I get that, then I'll cut my pieces out so they're 5/16. So just a little extra step, but yeah, I think it's gonna look a little bit sharper when we get that done. So as soon as this thing gets up to temperature we're looking for is 212 degrees, and I just started it. You can see it's 53, so it's going to take a few minutes to get up to temperature, but once it starts getting past 100, it really starts cooking pretty fast. So we'll catch up with you again here as soon as we get that up to temp. So here is the beaded slat that I'm thinking about doing. Again, so this is for the roof section, and 5/16. So what I'll do, and it's going to be kind of a lot of steps. So I'll take my board, it's about 6-inch wide board, about 9 foot long. I'll run this through the router to get my beads on either side. Then I will take that board and then rip 5/16. So that'll be for each one. Total number of slats. I had to make up a jig here. You can see this. This is a little comb jig I'm gonna use on the roof section. Plans do not show how many slats. Plans do not show the spacing in between. The only thing that you have is how wide those slats are, which is 1 inch. So I had to figure up how many slats I could get through the width of the delivery car, and then the spacing. So needless to say, I went through a lot of variations of this to get it, but I finally got it to where it is. So this will set on the outside of the frame rail, and then the slat will start 1 inch, actually be about right here, and so you'll have the 1 inch, and then this is just a little bit smaller than 3/4 of an inch, and then again slat, 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 slat on the way down. So total number of slats, I believe there's 27 that I will have on here, and then that just helps you keep everything nice and straight and even when we go to nail these on the top bows there. So just another exciting thing that we'll be getting done. I wanted to make sure I had all my stuff ready to go
for this project, so I wasn't going to be trying to figure out spacing later on and figuring out what I wanted to do with the slats. So all my things are set where they need to be as far as like height wise for the beads, all of that, so I can just spend a day and just do this and get all these things cut out and ready to go. So I'm doing a test piece here. I don't see if you can see the temperature. It's 209. We got to get up to 212 before we can start cooking the piece of wood. I'm only doing one piece, probably be in the steamer for about 19 minutes. That would make it pliable enough, and we'll see what happens. But generating a fair amount of good steam here, as you can see. So we'll see what happens when we get this all in there. Oh, starting to whistle like a tea kettle now. Going up to 210, so a couple more degrees, and we'll get this piece of wood in there. Okay, so I have my piece in there, and we don't start timing until it reaches back up to 212. So once this hits 212, which it's at, boy, it's about 207. So 207, but once it hits 212, we'll start timing 19 minutes, and then we'll take it out and try to get it on the form as quick as we can and see if we can get this thing formed. Okay, so I have my test piece in my form. I got the clamps on it. We're gonna see how this works. You definitely need two people to help with this to make sure it gets in its place, and you got to work fast. But I was really amazed. I mean, that wood, once took it out and started getting it in there, it started bending. You got to go kind of slow with it though, getting it around the form, but it starts taking the shape that it needs to. So I'm pretty excited about this. So I'm gonna let this cool for about 5, maybe 10 minutes in the form, and then we'll see. And that's really what's going to take such a long time, because you can only do one at a time. So 19 minutes to cook, and then you got about 10 minutes on the form, and once that's done. So this is going to be a pretty much all day project when we get everything fine-tuned. So we'll find out how much spring back there is on this, and then I'll have to make some adjustments. So, okay, took the piece out of the form. Did definitely bend it, as you can see, but definitely gonna have to make my curve a little bit tighter to get a little bit more of a curve on that. I'm going to go hold it up here. Let's take a look what we got. And I purposely made these a little bit extra long, but you can see it's kind of coming up now. If I can, I mean, it's laying pretty flat right there, but obviously not here. So now I can bring that down, but I really don't want to have a lot of stress on these. I want them to lay as flat as possible. So I'm definitely gonna make some adjustments on the jig, and hopefully get that to lay a little bit more with the curve of the frame. But we are getting a lot closer there. So just gonna have to work a little bit more on it, and I just want to get everything where it needs to be. That way when we go to do this, it's gonna be very repeatable, and we can just get those things right up there and no problem. So we'll probably catch up with you again. Don't know when, but till then, have a great rest of the week.